Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome back to the Crow's Nest. Welcome if you are new. We are a spiritual olive mind community, learning as we grow along our ascension journey. We're going to get into a message for what it is that we need to be aware of and focusing on at this time. Although these messages are collective and might not resonate with everyone, they are timeless. So if it finds you and it resonates with you, then it's intended for you. We're going to go over some things before we dive into the tarot with some confirmations on what I had coming through leading up to this message, and we'll get some guidance based on that as well. So also today, very significant day. Today is the 12/12 portal. So I wasn't really feeling pulled to dive too deep into this portal for this month. I know it's a very powerful one. I know I've been seeing a lot of content being posted about this portal, so a lot of information is out there if you're feeling called to look more into the significance of today. But definitely a lot of numbers are going to be at play today. So overall, the frequency for today, we're looking at, the 12th day of the 12th month. So 12 is going to be really significant, but that also brings us down to 3. 3 energy, being in alignment. And in yesterday's timeless message and some messages that I put up on TikTok, there was a lot of 333 energy. I've been getting 369 coming through in my readings, and I've been channeling a lot of master numbers, including the triangle of enlightenment. So that's pretty significant in itself. We will be talking about the solar plexus in a minute, but also I feel like my stomach's going to start making noises now. My stomach was fine just a minute ago before I started this reading. I had a very beautiful breakfast. And then I think that happened in yesterday's reading as well. So, but we will talk about solar plexus. I have it here. Some more numbers that you might be noticing today are 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. I saw that myself quite a few times already today. Number 7 and number 6. And I feel like 6 is a message, in numerology, it speaks all about harmony, but today, there's that 369 energy already I'm picking up. Watch us get a 9 card somewhere. I did. I put it down as 10 of swords, but it was the 9 of swords. There's your 369. Okay, but there's also something very significant about why I wrote it down as 10 and not 9. We'll get to that. So what I really do feel with this 6 energy is the energy of today. There's been a major shift in the energy. Today you might be feeling lighter. You might be feeling your body feels cleaner. I know yesterday it wasn't quite a headache, but my mind felt dense. My mind felt heavy in a way, just the energy. I don't know how to explain that, but like you just might have felt like there was like a lot of pressure in your ears, things like that. So, and really interesting because I'm going to be moving on to the solar plexus now. So that's the crown chakra, right? So some activations taking place in the crown chakra is what that's all about. And rest is so important. The 4 of swords keeps coming through, and it came through again today. So the color yellow, I've been seeing so much of it today. I feel really drawn to it. So again, speaking of the solar plexus and going back to what I was saying about, you might be feeling a lot of activations and sensations. You might be feeling gassy and bloated, and having changes in your appetite. And this is all part of the solar plexus. This all has to do with the solar plexus. And, I think we've been talking about, in yesterday's message, there was about releasing a spiritual blockage, right? And now we're talking about the solar plexus and all these activations. And so I really do feel that those of you resonating with my messages about this spiritual rebirth currently taking place and a Kundalini activation or rising, or like for some people, I'm still learning about this for myself and deciding what I believe in, but I'm hearing that there can even be multiple Kundalini awakenings in one journey, in one earth walk. So for some of you that might resonate. But what I was going to say is with this solar plexus activation that's taking place right now, I think that has a lot to do with this spiritual blockage that we talked about in yesterday's message, because the Kundalini rises from the base chakras up through the chakra system. So I've been feeling, when I do these messages, I've been feeling a rise in, I've been getting, once these messages about this Kundalini awakening started for me, I started to feel tension in my back, and every day I've been doing my messages since that energy has been rising up my back. So you might be feeling that. And as I'm talking about the solar plexus chakra, I was even talking about the crown chakra. Now my throat wants to go funny, and that's been happening a lot the last few days. Whenever I'm reading, I just feel like my voice keeps cracking. And I feel like this is that going back to what I've been saying in past readings about the turbulence that you're going through as you ascend. Imagine you're in a plane, and as the plane is trying to get to the altitude that it needs to level out before it can pick up speed, it first has to get through to the altitude it needs to reach. And as that's happening, you encounter turbulence, right, as you ascend. So imagine yourself, if you will, as you're going on a journey, and you're in a plane ride right now, and you're going through that turbulence. But once you break through that turbulence, things do level out, and then that plane picks up speed so that, you know, you can really get to your destination, right? So I don't know why all of a sudden now I'm feeling like planes and flying is really significant. Like flight, taking flight. Very interesting that I would say that right before I go into, I was getting the Magician card coming through, getting ready for the message. And I really do feel that one energy. There's something behind today's energy with like being the 1212 portal, that energy of new beginnings and duality, but also with a message of alignment and harmony. There's all of this is coming together to form a new beginning, which is what I've been talking about for since I came back on. I took a break from my messages here on YouTube for probably about a year, but since I started to come back and do these this is all the same stuff. It's building up. I feel I'm actually seeing a balloon being filled with air, and that moment when it's like you are this balloon and you're expanding, and then it's like you can only fit so much expansion into your vessel. And then once you reach that point where your vessel is so full of expansion, that it's like you pop, you burst. But it's like a sense of how like you're just, when a balloon pops, we think of, oh, we're sad, now the balloon is gone. But what happens to that air that's inside of that balloon? That's going to expand into everything. So I really feel that. I feel that as you yourself, this balloon going on this airplane ride, basically, right? I'm seeing a red balloon as well. I saw that recently, very specifically a red balloon, that you are that color of honor. I've been channeling red a lot. Red again is significant. So just imagine that. Don't be sad if you think like, oh, well, what happens if I overexpand? There is no such thing as overexpansion, right? You just go on to the next part of the journey. So I really do see you just expanding into something much greater than outside of yourself. Right now, this is an inward expansion, and I really see you you're going to reach that moment. And I feel like that's the Kundalini, right? When the Kundalini activation happens, for me, it was so sudden, it was terrifying. So I want to do a video to prepare you all for that experience. But it's like that. It was like a balloon pops. It's like an explosion, a burst of energy. And it literally is like all of a sudden there's like this tension, this buildup, and then it's like when you snap an elastic, it just goes off like that rocket ship. Oh, that counting down 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. So it's like we've been counting down to the moment when you blast off, but now we're looking at 1, 2, 3. That's reversed. So now you've blasted off, right? Now you're this plane shooting up, getting through that turbulence, about to level out to pick up speed. And that magician energy, right? Like you have all the tools, all the resources. Yesterday we spoke about resources quite significantly, and I feel like this also ties into those resources for those resonating with my messages about light language being activated or further developed within you. You have all those resources. You are the magician. You have everything you need. And this also ties into the resources of the sun, the moon, the earth, and the water, how those are all going to help you. And it's really interesting too, because we tied in a couple messages ago about how air plays a role in those 4 resources. And, you know, I was just talking about you being this balloon that when you burst with your expansion, you then become one with everything else, right? And that's you. you know, your physical body, which we again talked yesterday on TikTok about this gaze at the moon message, how that played such a significant role in providing a key to awakening this light language ability or developing it. And it was like, oh shoot, I'm losing my train of thought here. The balloon is representing your physical body, and then you are also the air element, because you are in this balloon, you are a physical body, but then when you expand to the point of no longer being able to fit within that physical body, you then step outside of that physical body and merge with everything around you. And so that's when you then become that element of air, that element of light. I'm seeing the pillar of light again, and it's very specifically a white light, and it's very bright. I also then heard, I need this, and I saw this, I wrote down meme, so memes might be significant for you today, but it's a GIF, and I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but it's this girl, and she's doing the I'm watching you, and it's one of my favorites. She's this cute little blonde kid, and she's like, it's like at a restaurant setting, and she's doing the I watch you, and she backs up around the corner, and then you think she's gone, and she comes back around the corner, and I'm still watching you. So there's something here about, I need this, and you're being watched over. Like someone's like, I'm watching you like a hawk, and even if you think I'm not watching, I'm watching. And they're clear on it. They're like, I'm watching you. So we'll see what that's getting to. I'm not too sure what that's about just yet. But then there was also something that I was getting about, you feel as though there's some kind of like element of rescue. And where I get that from is all of a sudden I feel I'm carrying a lot of anxiety. All of a sudden my whole body is just like, that really came out of the message about I need this, and that gif of you are being watched. I feel like this might even be like you're being watched. Like someone's like, I'm watching you, don't mess around. So I need this, I don't know if this is like an ego mentality, and your guides are like, watch it. I don't know what it's about, but it feels like someone's like about to scold you. And now I just feel like I'm being scolded. There's my throat again. But going back to what I was saying, on the Earth Warrior deck today, I put my citrine stone, and this is a stone I actually rescued. It was on a piece of jewelry that I saw was going to be tossed in the garbage. It was glued onto it, and I was like, what? No. So I actually pulled the stone off, but I have not been successfully able to remove the glue, but nonetheless, because it has glue on it, I don't put it in my readings very often, but for some reason today I felt like it was really important that had to be there. But there's just something about rescue. Like I tried to rescue this stone, and there's just something about your Earth Warriors are trying to rescue you. That came through right after this, I need this, and you're being watched, okay? Your guides want to rescue you from some path, like you're about to go down a wrong route, it might seem. But we'll get confirmation on that. But also, we're looking at the solar plexus chakra with this stone as well. I believe that's the chakra that it's connected to. And we also had the card 32 coming through. This brings me to number 5. There's a change in regards to you harvesting a healthy lifestyle. And definitely with that Queen of Swords that we're going to talk about in a second, you are setting more clear boundaries in regards to how you're caring for your physical vessel. Again, tying into previous messages. So your physical vessel carries your soul. And so we have to take care of our physical vessel as it is, as sacred as our soul as it is. If we don't take care of our physical body, our soul will not be well. We will not be expanding. And so I just think that it's really important that we continue to work towards that. But I do see that there are changes for you towards like a positive change for this healthy lifestyle, for caring. Like I see that you now have that understanding and are practicing caring for your physical vessel because it matters to you how your soul is nurtured. Again, tying back into other messages, that sustainable nourishment. And for some of you, that was like the missing link, is you were nourishing yourself, but what was missing in terms of sustainability is like how you were actually feeding yourself. I was getting a message about like what you are consuming into your body. I'm also hearing right now medication as well. I don't know if you're someone who like takes medication or is indulging in risky behavior in regards to substance, but I'm actually seeing someone taking medication as I'm saying this message. So maybe I've been getting these messages like consult with your doctor about your body if something's off and you're not sure, what's going on. And I'm also getting this as well, like if you're concerned about medications that you're taking, or if you're taking medications that you want to come off of to make adjustments in this healthy lifestyle, I keep getting that you really should consult a physician, a professional in regards to the concerns that you have, just to clear it up for yourself. Excuse me. I also saw a message come through about sing the song of your life. And I was really feeling this in regards to authenticity. Like sing your song of life, like just be authentic in how you express yourself. And there was something else about that card. But then I also heard Felicity, and that was a TV show from like the 90s. I remember that airing when I was a kid, but I was too young, I think, to even understand it probably at the time. It just wasn't for me. So I don't know, I don't even remember really what that show was about. I know it was like a comedy, very similar to like Friends, I guess, but more so in the realm of this is Felicity's life. But there's just something there, if you remember that TV show or you have an understanding about like what the moral of the story was, there's a message for you there in regards to singing your song of life. It's very interesting because Felicity is very focused on that main character, right? And I'm seeing the dancing baby right now. Very funny. We all remember the dancing baby. So, and then with that card also came don't blame others for your feelings. So I think that's a pretty generic message. I'm not understanding yet what that really is getting to in regards to singing your song of life. Maybe other people have made you feel like there's been a sense in my past readings about dimming your light, not being authentic, but now you are being authentic. You've made that change. So, and there has been this sense of like, in yesterday's message, it was complex. We talked about what you know, that you know, that you know, that you know. So I feel like this is tying into this about like that pattern of you're in this place of emotional instability because the thing that you knew that you knew that you knew that you pretended that you didn't know, or, go back and watch the message. It was like, I even lost myself in that one. So there's that feeling about, I'll link it for you, by the way, so you can find that with ease. But there's this feeling about not blaming others for your feelings in regards to how you feel as though you have not been able to sing your song of life in the past. There's also a message with that. That's what I was going to say. This message is all about, I actually wanted to read that for you from the book and show you the card. I kept it aside. I forgot that for a second. So there's also something about, like I was saying about the crown chakra earlier, maybe you're having like memory issues right now as well. And I'm also hearing right now diabetes again. That came through in yesterday's message. Diabetes affects the memory. So I'm channeling that right now. I don't know if you have diabetes or concerned if that might be a complication for you in your health, but I was just getting that right now, okay? So the Sing Your Song of Life. So this is the card. So you can see, let me just mark my page. You have 3 people on the card. You have 3 birds on the card. So we have that 3 energy. We have that 6 energy. We have the sun happening right here. We have the earth element. We have the birds are bringing in the medicine wheel. And the medicine wheel in indigenous culture, I could talk about it for a year, but really symbolizes the healing journey. Right now the medicine wheel is not whole, and we are working to make it whole, make it complete again. And you can see how as you are this 3 energy, this as you're sending prayer and thanks and gratitude and walking your spiritual path, there's this sense about how these birds that have been trying to deliver messages to you, right? These are messengers from spirit delivering messages to you. They're bringing in the medicine wheels, right? They're delivering medicine to you. And I feel like the medicine that's being delivered is that light language that you use to help others here on your earth walk. And there was also, like I really am tying this very strong into that light language message, because we have all those elements here, and the air, like they're making music, they're creating vibration, and that ripples into what we can't see. And air is something that we can't see, and the dark matter, if you will, right? And I love that I just said that, because the message will get there. So really, really significantly tied into your light language, if you're resonating with that. Was something else I was going to say. Right, the vibrations. Again, that message about listening to the birds, right? We'll hear it in the message. I'll let the message speak for it, because what I'm going to say, it basically came out of this. So this is also on page 61, right? So speaking about that spirituality. So you are are you dwelling too long in the darkness, grandchild? It is time to bring your awareness back into the light. Listen, can you hear the song to you sung from all of creation? Listen to the celestial chorus of the star beings, the four directions, the plants, the birds, the winds, the water beings, the elements, and the animals. Excuse me. All of these are sacred beings singing their song of life. What a harmonious gathering of voices. Can you hear them singing? You too have a song of life, one that raises your awareness and vibrates in your blood. What song are you singing? As I'm saying this, my solar plexus is getting so activated, and my throat too. What song are you singing? Does it represent the beauty of your spirit? If not, choose a new song and sing it. Let it bubble up from the depths of your belly, where your solar plexus is, and ripple out your throat. And wasn't I just saying my throat? Make a sacred sound. You are a part of creation, and you are celebrated when you sing your song of life. Add your voice to the chorus and declare yourself to your relations, right? So it's that message about expanding and becoming one with everything. There's 3 of Cups energy here, a celebration. They just talked about that celebration. And what I get from that, I love how they open up with, spending time in the darkness, because we've been getting those messages about how we are journeying, like we're going through this journey, and now it's a time to step back into the light, right? So for some of you, there's a message with this card singing your song of life about how, again, you've been dimming yourself for too long, right? It's time to come back out. We're going to leave that right there for today. So let's go ahead. Oh wait, we're not quite there yet. A couple more things to go over before we get into the cards. And the reason I walk over with you all what came through is because if you stick around long enough, you see that everything that I have come through gets confirmed through the tarot. And you'll even see, like, we're going to go over some cards like we've been doing, and you'll see those cards come through in the message, right? So that's why we talk about it ahead of time. And so we're going to talk about the Queen of Wands. Just a couple more things to go over here. So again, setting those boundaries real clear, being direct in our communications, speaking about being very independent. The other day when I saw that Queen of Wands came through, like literally facing the sky, like you were having this communion with your spirit team, right? A lot like what's happening right here. So you are currently in this state of singing your song of life, stepping into that part of your journey, being more authentic, more clear, more direct. The 7 of Pentacles as well, the Queen was facing that 7 of Pentacles, looking towards and communicating with your future. This is, again, you are one with everything, and you are combining your past, your present, and your future. That message about with the 6 of Swords that's been coming through consistently, leaving the emotional baggage, taking the resources, and setting off on that journey. And the 6 of Pentacles came through as well with reciprocity. And I really see this as you being in a really strong state of gratitude and generosity. This is all about sharing wealth. And I think that also came through in yesterday's message. And the 4 of Swords, this really is a card all about rest. It came in the reverse position, speaking about like deep contemplation. But I really do see, and burnout and exhaustion as well. But I really do see this as a message about you putting yourself first. Because you're seeing this pattern of when you put yourself first, it puts, like, you have things that you're grateful for, and you express that gratitude, and you're putting yourself first, and you're being grateful for things, and it's just like creating that that merry-go-round that I keep seeing. But this time on the merry-go-round, what we have is this cycle of generosity, bringing in more wealth for you that you share with the people around you. And take that how it resonates. Wealth can mean so many different things to so many people. Maybe it's money, maybe it's the love that your self-love that outpours to the world. Maybe you're abundant and, you're gifted with tarot and you like to give readings. Take it how it is. So the next thing, that 10 of Swords in the reverse position. I said 10 of Swords, but it was actually the 9 of Swords, right? This like losing sleep at night, but it was in the reverse position. I really do feel you breaking through those things. The Ace of Wands also came through. It was in a transitional energy and it wasn't going any direction. It was neutral, but what I saw was the Ace of Wands, that wand that's being passed through the clouds, which we saw as in a past reading, it was you were being given a torch and you were going to turn this torch. You were going to take it back into the darkest depths of yourself, right? That message with this card. And when you were down there messing with the devil and having this conversation saying, look, we got to learn to work together, talking to your ego and the darker parts of yourself, you then take that stick that you've been given and you ignite it, like you light it in those darkest depths of yourselves and you turn it into a torch. And you use that torch then like the lantern that we see the hermit using. And it's like now you have this lantern and a map, a roadmap on how to always find your way back out of the darkness, right? And so what I saw with the 9 of Swords and the Ace of Wands, the way that the Ace of Wands was pointing towards the 9 of Swords, it's like my solar plexus is going crazy here. It was like you now have taken that torch and you're igniting yourself with it, right? The Ace of Wands, that torch was facing that 9 of Swords. So it's like you now have taken that torch and now you are lighting yourself with it. It's like when you're like a stove goes out or a furnace that requires a pilot. It's like you're relighting the pilot, right? And what happens when we light a pilot? The whole system starts fully operating. So I feel that you're really tapping into something here. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the tarot with that message. I'm just gonna take a moment to quickly pause. Okay, I actually had to get something to drink. I was super thirsty right there. So again, talking about how we're caring for our physical body, what I've been getting through in past messages is like, again, literally what you're putting in your body. So, not just being mindful about what you're putting in your body, but mindful of what you're not putting in your body. If you're not drinking enough, please be sure to hydrate. Because like right there, I was feeling like I wasn't going to be able to talk anymore if I didn't take a moment. So, let's get our confirmation and some guidance based on the message that we had come through already. And on the stone today, or on the stone. Oh, that's really specific. I've been talking about some of you indulging in risky behavior. On the stone is a term for being on the stone. So that's for someone specifically. They're okay. Take it how it resonates. But I feel like really what that was for someone, like just a confirmation for you to know that this is for you, okay? And I do want to say, for anyone ever feeling as though they need that extra guidance, extra support in their life, whether it just be support like friends, or you need, a personal reading, you need to get connected to appropriate resources to help you work through whatever it is that you're working through. I'm always here for that, so please don't be shy to reach out. And very interesting that came through. So the stone on the deck, which is what I was trying to say, is the peacock ore. And this is all about balancing mind, body, and soul. But the peacock ore also does help us to release chemical imbalances, talking about those stones that someone could potentially be on. So let's go ahead and let's get some confirmation from the tarot. That was super specific. Again, it might not resonate for everyone. So let's see, confirmation that wants to come through for us, and the guidance. I'm getting super anxious again. For those of you resonating with potentially this being on the stone message, I feel like the reason that you are doing that is because you are trying to cope with your anxiety. There's the Ten of Swords. Very interesting that that would come through right after I said about being on the stone. This is a very specific message today. Very specific. And there's that message again about caring for your physical body, seeking out like a medical opinion. Super specific. And I'm not even kidding you. The anxiety, like my hands are shaky. And it also came through next to that Queen of Swords, or sorry, Queen of Wands in the reverse position. Yeah, this is like kind of like low vibrational energy. Like when I say kind of, I'm being really humble. Yeah, but it's also the ending. Like you're now at the ending of this cycle. The swords are going to follow to your back, right? Like in this position, like this is like a painful ending. Like this is like, you're at that point where you feel like you've been crawling on the ground and you can't even crawl anymore at this point. Like you've just at the point of like about to give up, basically. But we're seeing it in the reverse position right now. And anytime my intuitive mind, when I see the Ten of Wands, or sorry, Ten of Swords in reverse, Ten of Wands is significant. Right, you're working really hard to recover from this. Whoever I'm talking to right now, this message about being on the stone, you are working really hard at overcoming that. I do see that. The swords are falling out of your back, but this also, the Queen of Wands in the reverse position. The Queen of Wands is very, very passionate, but we're in the reverse. This is passion in the wrong way, right? You are channeling your passion in almost a vengeful way. And then there's that message about don't blame others for your feelings. You are trying to, this habit, again, you're trying to cope with anxiety. You're trying to cope with your feelings. And right now what I see is like you're healing from this and you're trying to release, like as when you release a coping mechanism, such as the one we're talking about, what happens is all of the things that you've been trying to suppress, they'll still come to the surface. The things that you have been trying to not allow come to the surface, they'll still will find a way back up. And so as you stop indulging, or once you start to recover from substance use, what happens is everything comes back up. It still has to be dealt with. So what I am feeling is a sense of, as these things are coming up, you're just processing them. You're learning to understand that, like, not to blame other people for the situations that occurred that put you in this place where you felt like you needed a coping mechanism, and in a place where there's things coming up on my phone. It's distracting me. I'm trying not to look because I'm trying to stay with the message, right? It's trying to stop me from delivering this message to you. There's like, oh shoot, where was I? And then there's also releasing. It's a message about, it's time to forgive yourself for the ways that you had to move when you were in survival mode, right? Things happen. We do things when we're in survival mode, when we're, you know, I resonate with this journey too. Is okay. I have things that I've recovered from in my journey as well. And so, you know, as you know, there are things that we have done while we were on that part of our journey, that as we start to recover from that part of our journey, we start to look back and we're like, we blame ourselves, we blame others, we're angry, we have guilt, we have sadness, we feel like this freaking kicked my butt, man. But it's like you are learning how to process all of that. That's where all this anxiety is coming from, because you're trying to properly place that energy. You no longer want to be feeling trapped within. Bottom of the deck, the High Priestess in the reverse. There's that message about you've been suppressing your intuition, and whether you've been doing it intentionally or not, when you, in regards to the things that you're recovering from currently, I'm just trying to be YouTube friendly, so forgive me if I'm being like too pleasant. What I really do see from here is that, you know, you had the best intentions in trying to cope with life and, you know, the hand that you were dealt with, but inevitably and unknowingly to you, like unbeknownst to you, it was like you were actually disconnecting yourself from your spirituality, from your intuition, from duality within. And what I see now is like, you know, again, that message about that plane, but you're going through that turbulence right now, right? And so just remember, if you're feeling like things are turbulent right now in your journey, if you're feeling like turbulent in your body, like I feel like I'm holding onto an electric fence right now. It's starting to smooth out as I'm delivering this message, but even my teeth kind of want to chatter. There is like, you know, once that turbulence smooths out, again, the plane will level out. Yeah, the plane. That's, oh wow, get it? Okay, moving on. And then you will pick up speed in your journey, like really move forward in your journey. And I resonate with that. It's so funny because I was actually thinking about my recovery journey this morning, like looking back and thinking, wow, that was a journey. But since putting that behind me, I really have propelled forward. There's a catalyst here. Today is all about 3 energy. Something has happened that has caused you to say, no more. And I get this message about, like, with that magician, like you have an understanding about your abilities. And the high priestess is the counterpart to the magician. At least that's the energy that I'm getting right now. You are choosing. You understand now how you have been unknowingly suppressing your own journey, and you're ready to get back on track. You're ready to get back on track. Whew. So, okay. I was like, let's get one more message, and like almost the whole deck came out. Let's get one more from the tarot. Thank you. And landed on the Soul Urge cards. I was going to say we'll get a confirmation or a guidance, so that's where we'll get it from. 5 of Pentacles. So just further confirmation that you have felt very out in the cold, like this is spiritual poverty. Like you feel so robbed of your spiritual journey, of your physical journey. And I feel like you're coming to an understanding of, like, don't blame others for your feelings. You're now understanding that this was me. I did this. And I'm picking up a masculine energy again. And I am noticing it's coming apparent to me. And I think this came to my realization right before I left YouTube a year ago, that even in my timeless guidance messages, I really do tend to channel the masculine collective. So, but again, take it how it resonates. If it resonates with you, then it's for you. But this is just, again, a confirmation on what I was just saying about how you now have an awareness about how you were unknowingly suppressing your own spiritual journey and how that had a ripple effect into your physical life. And the ripple effect, I kind of lost it for a second there because I put the River Stone on the Soul Urge card, which that went flying towards. River Stone, this is a stone that I myself harvested. It's founded in a river here in British Columbia up on a mountain. It stood out to me. And this is all about cleansing and healing and being at the top of a mountain too. I'm getting a sense of purity from this. The water at the top of the mountain is some of the freshest water in the world. So some of the cleanest, most pure. I was also going to say that it also tastes very sweet. I don't know if you've ever had the honor of tasting fresh mountain water, but it has a very sweet taste to it. And I'm getting that message again about taste something sweet, which came through a couple days ago. And that was a message about leaning back into the feminine, but that was also connecting to my message about diabetes. So there it is twice in one message. So just get yourself checked out if you feel in the need. It's coming through so much in my messages now that I might even just go get a checkup just to make sure I'm good. So even though I feel like I'm good, and that might be a message for someone, you might think that you're good, but just if it's in the back of your mind, that could be a message. So yes, cleansing. I like the way that the cards fell in a circle right here. We're talking about cleansing. You're regenerating a process. You're regenerating your physical body. Let's get our guidance message for this message, please. Thank you. Oh, this is so beautiful. I was feeling that crown chakra stuff going on too, right? So what I see here is that message about your blossoming flowers in the attic. You're blooming right now. I'm getting like soil, earth energy from down here. You are blossoming up out through the soil. Message to become grounded. Ground yourself. I needed to pause. Like when I grabbed a drink of water, I took a moment to ground as well, because that anxiety that I picked up on was actually like my jaw was even carrying. I was just like, wanted to, my jaw, like, you know, when you're out in the freezing cold and your teeth, like you just can't control your jaw, that amount of anxiety. And then like the 10 of Swords came through after I channeled it, right? So I also see some purples happening here, which has been coming through in my messages. And this sprout, the way I see this sprout coming through, it almost looks like a person spreading out of the soil, being like, yeah, I did it. So I really feel that you are in an acknowledgement of what is happening for you right now in your journey, the work that you're doing, the end result. I was going to say cause and effect, that Justice card from yesterday. So I think the most significant guidance right now is just to ground, because absolutely a lot of anxiety came through in this reading, and I'm holding my hands now to try and like keep myself grounded. A lot of anxiety coming through, so I feel like that's going to help you to release the anxiety the more you ground. Earthing is a technique you can look into. I really am getting like just a lot of soil energy from this, not even so much about connecting with trees and nature. This is all about earth. There was a message in yesterday's message about lay on the ground. Like if you can, just like lay on the ground for a minute, because not only does earthing help to ground us, right? But if you're, we're always on a healing and a cleansing journey, but especially for those of you going through this like physical detoxification process, Mother Earth will transmute that energy. She will take what you are healing and give you her energy in return. So if you are going through this detox process, like literally just like put your hands in earth if you can. Buy a bag of soil and keep it in your home if the ground is frozen where you are. Maybe you have some plants at home, right? Tend to them. Play with the soil with your plants. And I really do feel like that's just going to help you to reconnect with Mother Earth. It's going to help you to reconnect with that inner feminine energy. And also just to help to like heal and purge your physical vessel from this like physical healing process that you are going through, that I channeled in today's message. And again, let me know, like and comment if this resonated, to let me know. But if this is for you, and again, you want something specific for your journey, as this is collective, and if I can be of service to anyone who is going through the thick of it right now, the whole point of the Crow's Nest is to be that community, to be here for one another. And we also have the Crow's Nest group on Facebook. It's a private group where you can share the most vulnerable parts of your journey, and that's private. No one outside of the group can see what you put there. And again, the whole purpose of the community is so that we can support each other through our journey, whether we're going through the difficult times or stepping into the light. So again, I hope this helps. Hope it found who it was meant for. And be sure to subscribe, be notified when I post next, and I'll see you in my next reading.